Hi, this is Kimberly, and this is a synopsis of Chapter 8 of the book Letters from Christopher, Tragic Confessions of the Watts Family Murders. The book is by Sherilyn Cadle, and this Chapter 8 is entitled The Week Before. The first sentence says, as with anyone having a premarital affair, the lies got bigger and the deception grew. Sherilyn, I think you meant to say extramarital affair, not premarital affair. But so to go on, during this time, the week before, supposedly a darkness came over Christopher. Cadle then goes on to explain how darkness enters the mind and how it worms its way into you. But she doesn't cite where this information came from. She says a darkness was hovering over their home. Is this something Chris told her? Is it something she reasoned for herself? Well, we don't know because she doesn't tell us. Cadle says Shanann did not know and she may not have felt anything unusual. First, how do you know that Shanann did not know about the darkness? And then the author says she may not have felt anything unusual. Then why bring it up? I don't get it. But she says about Chris, quote, he must have felt empowered. Well, why the hell didn't you ask him if he felt empowered? Ask him in a letter, on the phone, in person, all these ways that you and he had contact. For example, you could say, Christopher, did you feel empowered? Was it this so-called darkness that empowered you? And did this make that crippling emasculation stuff go away? But anyway, she says, Mrs. Cadle then speaks of an impure spirit that came out of Chris and that he will tell us about that later in the book. Mrs. Cadle then talks and talks about spirits, and I'm lost. For one, she doesn't cite where this information came from. Is it her own thoughts and beliefs? Is it something she studied? She sounds very confident and knowledgeable about it, but I'm lost. All I know is that the house needs to be blessed when someone buys it, and they should consider Matthew 12 and the Bible according to Mrs. Cadle. She then says, and I quote, then it goes and takes with it 7 other spirits more wicked than itself, and they go and live there. Parentheses, it says ERV. Period. Huh? I I don't understand. She doesn't explain what a ERV is, so of course I Googled it. And what I found was ERV, for one, can stand for Energy Recovery Ventilator. And it is something to do with ducts in your HVAC system in your house. So is she saying spirits and darkness are traveling through the vents? Perhaps I've misunderstood this ERV thing. The murdering of his family is something that he, quote, had been fantasizing about for a while, end quote. Everything was planned, and I want to know more about this plan. She doesn't elaborate. Hopefully in a coming chapter or a mini chapter. This one was only 3 pages. Mrs. Cadle says when Shanann and the girls hugged their family for the last time and said their goodbyes, they had no idea they were about to face a horrible death. And for Bella, a horrible, violent death. Why did she have to say that about Bella? It made my heart drop. God Almighty. But Chris had been having these thoughts for a couple of weeks. He repeatedly tells Cadle that this would not have happened if he had not had the affair. This is the only reason he has come up with, and he sticks to this reason. Nothing more, nothing less. He had to get rid of his family so he could be free to be with Nikki. Well, Chris, dumbass, you could have done that with a divorce, and you could have just relinquished your parental rights. Everyone would have been so much better off. I wonder if Chris realizes now that it never would have lasted with Nikki. These are my thoughts, not the author's. I mean, to me, part of the excitement was the sneaking around. And Chris and Nikki, any relationship that starts as an affair is doomed. If a person will cheat with you, they will cheat on you. But Cadle claims, and I quote, there is still a lot of denial by his family that Christopher killed his family. And she does not back up this statement, she just drops it. Let me read it again. This is a quote in the book. There is still a lot of denial by his family that Christopher killed his family. I have nothing to add to that, except for, as stated before, and Chris says himself, there is one simple reason Chris Watts annihilated his family. It was to be with his mistress. It was not done in a rage. It was a profoundly immoral, wicked, premeditated plan. The one and only reason, according to Chris Watts. And the DA pointed that out as well at the sentencing. It was to be with his mistress. I feel like the author is playing up the darkness stuff. Yes, he was dark. I'm sure the week beforehand was dark, but I think she's stretching it a bit. Mrs. Cadle says, and I quote, "The forces of evil are not greater than the forces of good, unless we have allowed the evil to take deep root." And to me, she's embellishing a bit and talking about the forces of evil, spirits. I want facts. I want to know the physical steps he took. I want to know exactly how he laid out his plan, what he had in his head. This is what we want to know. And I hope we get to this part later in the book, but not in this chapter, we don't. I mean, this is supposed to be about the week beforehand, and I want facts. Here's one fact I found in this chapter. Shanann kept asking Chris over and over if he was having an affair, and he just denied. As I said, I wish the author had told more about the week before. For one thing, the picture of the doll and the couch, and I just want to know more about that. Perhaps we'll learn in a later chapter. But that's all I've got for this one. Like I said, it was a very short 3-page chapter, and I will pick up with chapter 9 in the next video. Thank you for listening.